Rangers, welcome to the Geek. My name's Steve, and today I'm in a muscle shirt because I'm upset. Also quite not centered. Hold on a second. Better, because today, I guess in action figure news, we'll call it action figure news. It's the only thing we're going to really talk about. I was going to bust out the Godzilla puppet, but you know what? I just want to put out my concerns. Because I guess yesterday, as of this recording, NECA officially announced that the Godzilla line is done. Kaputs. Not getting anything else. So with the Bio Godzilla 1989 and the Mazer 2003 are the last we're getting out of the Godzilla line. Initially, it was, to my understanding and to a lot of people's understanding, that the line was going to be on hiatus and we were going to eventually get more Godzilla stuff because with King of the Monsters coming out, being pushed, not getting Godzilla figures anytime soon, at least new ones. So, there's that. Also, because Playmates now currently has the rights to it, and we definitely know how Playmates likes to treat NECA. Not gonna say nothing. There might be some semblance of issues with Playmates having to do with these things behind me. If you guys didn't know it, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, they have the license for it. So with NECA's products and being, I wouldn't say similar, but because it's geared toward a different audience, but still, they're action figures, right? Action figures are going to be action figures. They can only sell them certain ways. Initially, it was through conventions. Now it's a store exclusives that aren't anywhere near the toy aisle, and also have to be, well, in different sets. Like, they have to be at a certain price point to be able to be in the same place as them. Blah, 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 blah. It sucks. And that's why a lot of people complain about the availability of these figures, and it's kind of where you need to point the blame is towards other companies and not NECA, sadly. Anyways, back to Godzilla. Essentially the same issue. So with Playmates having the rights, that kind of throws a lot of kinks into the works. The movie being pushed. So as of now, not getting anything new. Sounds like they're giving up the license, sort of akin to the other things sitting over here with the Pacific Rim stuff. Which is sad, because now instead of getting figures like this, where you get nicely articulated figures, very nice quality, looks like the kaiju, now we get this. This lovely thing right here. I don't know if you've seen this, and we might have reviewed on this channel. This is the Playmates shit. Hard plastic and not as articulated. Also not as pretty. And essentially it's been the same thing with the rest of the Playmates lines. They've been at best acceptable. Like, the figures are okay. And by acceptable, I mean still not quite Bandai vinyl like they used to. Like back in my day when you get Bandai vinyls that look like the kaijus from the movie. Just less articulation. Now you get, essentially, if you consider this a PlayStation 4 graphics, you get PlayStation graphics version. Well, PlayStation 2, I guess. I don't want to sound too harsh. You get some detailing. So essentially, for the near future, this is kind of what you got to look forward to in the market. Now, we've done Playmates videos talking about this. We even had our own little spoiler, if you will, of possible figures that were going to be coming out. And sort of looking forward to it, because there's definitely going to be stuff that we weren't going to get with the NECA line, because NECA's was essentially just all Godzillas. The only kaijus that they were really allowed to do was like the King of the Monster stuff. So, like, it's sad, but at least, like, we'll get some other kaijus with this, but it's not what I want. I'm sure it's not what a lot of collectors want, because with this, the only way you're going to really be able to get like a solid articulated Godzilla figure now is if you import. Because like we said before, unless you're buying for a kid, this isn't really what you're really wanting to be aimed for. Even at trying to get things on a budget. Because like the NECA figures are only like 10 extra bucks, and you got definitely a lot more bang for your value. Hi. What? Well, you're like, Daddy, why are you so angry at the camera? Okay, I'm sorry. I won't be angry towards the camera anymore. You can get off of me. I'm sorry. This is what he does. He just jumps on the couch and tries to smother me with kisses. I appreciate it. Okay? Thank you. You've been in 2 videos in a row now because Arnez hasn't been over. Thank you. Okay. I'm trying not to be so hostile. I didn't think I was being hostile to begin with. doesn't like when people are angry. So now with this news, the only real way you're going to be able to get anything that's not really considered a shelf hog is by going Monster Arts. Because there's like the Bandai vinyls, but you get those once in a great while, and there's usually a couple, and like I've said, wherever he went, but they don't make them quite like they used to. Still like acceptable, but a lot of them are even just reissues of old figures. So there's not really anything new. And again, we're probably not really going to get too much new until the Godzilla movie comes out. So if you want anything that's going to be solid for your collection and not take up a crap ton of space, this is really all we got. And even this nowadays isn't really pumping out anything new. Again, because of the movie being delayed, there's just not really anything for us kaiju collectors for the most part. At least they're sort of listening now, and we're getting the reissues of like Biolante. So that's nice, because if a lot of collectors didn't start with the Monster Arts line early, you missed out on that, dude. So like that's cool. Same with the GMK, pretty sweet. But for like me, don't really quite need it as much. Got that one on pre-order. Biolante, I may only be buying that one, to be honest, just to hold on to it until it creep back up in price, because it's still web exclusive, so it's gonna hold its value and go up. That just kind of hurts the market a little bit, I feel, because now there isn't really much diversity with the kaiju figures, or I guess not diversity in the sense of different kind of action figures, but diversity in that we don't get action figures now. Like again, like the only really like decently articulated figures you're gonna have are Monster Arts, which I like. Like if you've seen the versus videos, of course, we usually put the Monster Arts ahead of the NECAs, but again, that's because Skull, pretty much, you get what you're paying for. And same with NECA. Actually, NECA, to be honest, I think you're getting more than what you're paying for, to be fair, because like even NECA, like we got beam effects, that wasn't something that really the Monster Arts were really putting out that much. The articulation, while less, still essentially gives you the same amount of movement. And the sculpts have been definitely improving over the years. Starting with the 54 figure, that's probably the best looking one out of the original lot. And then once we got the 62 Godzilla, and then from there on out, it's definitely been improving exponentially. Like I'm still really pumped about the 89 2003, and it kind of hurts we're not going to get anything new. So essentially, for what this kind of means for me, or at least for the channel in particular, there's just not going to really be that much Godzilla content as of right now, because there's just not really much that you can really buy. Like there's X Plus. X Plus is pretty much sounding like the way to go now if you want to get really nice looking figures. Because, like I said, Monster Arts, you're essentially just getting reissues right now. But the problem is X Plus is just so much money. They take up so much space. I guess the only thing you can really hope now is that Playmates kind of steps up their game a little bit and gives us a little bit better quality figures. Not expecting it, but I hope they do. Because like the new ones don't look that bad, at least from the shots that they had, the promotional shots, but I'm not optimistic. So yeah, that's kind of my little rant. It definitely sucks for a lot of collectors, especially younger collectors, because that don't really have access to be able to get the Monsters. They're just people that just don't have access to really get import figures to begin with. So I feel it's kind of like a net negative for the community as a whole. It's nice that there was like some healthy competition for Monster Arts figures. And now we don't get that, because Playmates thought that the NECAs were going to be the competition for them, and it's a different market geared toward different people. Because for me, NECA was always kind of like the middle ground, where Playmates, or even like the old Bandai Creations, Bandai Vinyls, was definitely for younger, like definitely for younger kids, something you're not worried about it breaking, they can go to town with the figures, not have any issues. NECA was kind of like for the teenage collector, like somebody that does some chores around the house, earn some money, bam, you got your Godzilla figure. And then Monster Arts is for the adults, or older teens at least, like some people with disposable income, a lot of disposable income. So I'm gonna miss them, especially since they were giving us figures that Monster Arts wasn't doing either, like with the 89 2003. Super pumped for those, because they were a nice substitute for figures that we haven't got from the Monster Arts line. So if you have a Biolante, you have a Kiryu, well, the Heavy Arms Kiryu, you now had Godzilla figures to go along with them that worked, that looked good. Now we don't get that. And it was something I was like always saying with NECA to begin with, was a lot of the times, and I know it's a Toho thing, but they would put out, Monstars would put out a figure, NECA would fall in line, or NECA would put out a figure, Monstars would fall in line with the same suit, and now we were getting diversity, which is great. I'm almost at this point hoping that Bandai kind of starts making new vinyls, or just reissuing old vinyls, like old vinyls, because I still need to make a lot. So, it just makes me sad. But what do you guys think? Are you guys as sad as I am? Let us know in the comment section below. We'll probably do another action figure news here in the near future, because I know their gigantic Burning X Plus is going up for order. See, I just seen filmed as that, but I gotta look at them more and get them on. And there's some other figures we could talk about too, because the Art Spirits Ghidorahs also was announced. So pretty pumped for that, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth in the near future, because there's also more NECA stuff. Well, I guess the one positive thing about there not being NECA Godzillas is it saves me a little bit of money because I don't have to buy them. Then again, I wasn't really buying many of them to begin with because they were one of the only things that NECA was really keen on sending us, which I appreciate, because I know like the turtle stuff doesn't do as good on the channel, so I don't really like bugging for figures that won't do solid, but gives me like a little bit more money to gear towards some other collectibles, like the turtles, the alien, the predator stuff. But help us defeat those guys by hitting the like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We also have Instagram, Patreon, pictures, Facebook. Guys like to keep up to date with channel, donate, would greatly appreciate it. Also have masks on our Redbubble t-shirt shop if you guys like to check that out. Also some t-shirts over there too. And see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.